Good morning, students. Welcome back to the English Channel Prime for grade 7. Students, today we'll read The Solitary Reaper, the poem number 5. Children, solitary reaper meaning alone, single or lonely. Reaper meaning a person who cuts the crops when it is ripe. So solitary reaper meaning the lonely reaper, the lonely crop cutter. It is written by William Wordsworth. So let's know about the poet. William Wordsworth was a very famous England poet who was born on 7th April 1770 in Cockermouth. He was honored as England's poet laureate. He is a poet of nature and used common words to express his feelings. Other lyrics are We Are Seven Daffodils. Those are very popular. He died on 23rd April 1850. So students, this poem Solitary Reaper, in this poem Wordsworth says that he was captivated by a song sung by a young woman. She is reaping, that is cutting the crops, and singing. So children, he was captivated, meaning he was beholded, he was hypnotized by a song. Children, whenever we are listening to any song, like the signature tune of the All India Radio, listen to this. Yeah, how we feel? It is played on the violin and it is soul stirring. It is very melodious. It captivates us. It hypnotizes us. Similarly, in this poem, he is describing how he being captivated or impressed by the song of a solitary reaper. So let's start the first stanza. Behold her, single in the field. Students, I'll explain line by line. Behold meaning see or look at her. Single in the field meaning she is alone in the field. Yon solitary highland lass. Yon meaning over there. It is a very old use of over there. This word we are not using anymore. Solitary highland lass. Solitary, as I said, lonely or single, alone. Highland meaning a girl who lives in the highlands, in the mountain regions of Scotland, because here the poet is traveling around Scotland. So, reaping and singing by herself. Reaping, as I said, cutting down the crops, and singing alone, stop here or gently pass. So the poet is advising to the onlookers, to the passers-by, to stop here, either to stop or to gently cross the road. Alone she cuts and binds the grain. She single-handedly, she is busy in her work. She is cutting and gathering the crops and sings a melancholy strain. Melancholy meaning the sad, strain meaning song. She is singing a sad song. O listen for the veil profound. O listen, see, the poet is telling to the listeners, to the onlookers, for the veil profound. Veil meaning valley. Profound meaning broad and deep. So the song is echoing all over entire valley. So here the poet is saying that the song is so melodious, so such an emotional and strained, such a beautiful song she was singing, that it is echoing, it is overfilling the whole valleys of the Scotland. Done, children? Students, now I am going to explain this paragraph as a whole, this stanza, the first stanza. See here, the poem The Solitary Reaper, it begins with an apostrophe. Apostrophe meaning behold, where the poet addresses the unknowns, the passerby, the readers. And he had used it again in the 7th line, O listen. So, O listen meaning it again tells them how the valley is filled with the sound of her. Okay, so that is called apostrophe, and it is following a rhyme scheme of 32 lines. A, B, A, B, C, C, D, D. That means the rhyme, the word rhymes with profound sound, still, hill, lay, day, etc. So, A, B, C, C, D, D, it is following. Now let me tell you the meaning of the first stanza. So students, here William Wordsworth describes how the reaper was singing all alone. During one of his journeys in the countryside of Scotland, he saw a Highland girl, a mountain girl, working in the field all alone. She had no one to help her out in the field, so she was singing to herself. The poet does not want to disturb her solitude, so he requests the passers-by to go without disturbing her. And the girl was immersed in her work of cutting and binding while also singing a melancholy song, a very sad song. For the poet, he is so struck by the sad beauty of her song that the whole valley seems to overflow with that sound. Clear? Now let's go to the second stanza. No nightingale did ever chant, chant meaning sing, more welcome notes meaning the pleasing sound liked by the listener, to weary bands meaning the tired group of travelers in some saddy hunt meaning children where the where the travelers used to take shelter, that would be roofed or covered, where the travelers used to visit among the Arabian sands, that is the deserts of the Arabia, in the Middle East. Among the Arabian sands, a voice so thrilling meaning exciting, never was heard in springtime from the cuckoo bird, breaking the silence of the seas among the farthest Hebrides meaning the most remote group of islands that lie to the northwest of Scotland, as you can see in this picture. So students, here the poet compares the young woman's song with nightingale and cuckoo, the most celebrated birds for the sweetness of their voice. So here one figure of speech is used. Can you identify that? Yes, that is the metaphor. Metaphor meaning a figure of speech which is used to compare one thing with the other. So here the poet is saying that the song of the girl is sweeter to the poet than that of the nightingale and the cuckoos who sing to the tired travelers who take rest in the oasis of the Arabian desert. To the poet, the girl's song seems more thrilling than the cuckoo's song. It is heard in the springtime in the silent seas of the farthest Hebrides, farthest meaning the remotest Hebrides, islands. So the silence of the seas, the calmness of that Hebrides, that islands broke because of this beautiful song. Done, children? Now let's go to the third stanza. Will no one tell me what she sings? Perhaps the plaintive numbers flow for old unhappy far up things. Students, here plaintive numbers meaning sad music for old unhappy far up things meaning something that is related to the past events, to very old events, and battles long ago, battles that might have fought long ago. Or is it some more humble lay, humble meaning ordinary, common, lay meaning song. So is it some more humble, some simple song, familiar matter of today, same natural sorrow, loss or pain that has been and may be again. So here the poet is saying that he did not understand the theme or the subject or the language of the poem. The poet could not understand the local Scottish dialect in which the reaper was singing. So he is asking someone to tell him the theme of the girl's song, because the language in which she is singing is incomprehensible, is not understandable to the poet. As there is no one to interpret the song to the poet, he guesses that the melancholy song of the girl might be connected with unhappy incidents or any battles that was fought in the past. He further guesses that the song might be about some misfortune of everyday life, of sorrows which comes out of the natural course of things. Because in the line 6 it is a melancholy strain. So he speculates that her song might be about some past sorrows, past pain or loss of old unhappy things or battles fought long ago. Or is it some more humble lay, familiar matter of today? Meaning he says It might be a simple song about some present sorrow, pain, or loss, or matter of today. Also, she says some natural sorrow, loss, or pain that has been and maybe again, meaning he wonders if that is about something that has happened in the past or something that has reoccurred again now. Done, children? Let's go to the fourth stanza. Whatever the theme, the maiden sang. Theme meaning the topic, the subject of her song. The maiden meaning young girls, sang. As if her song could have no ending. I saw her singing at her work and over the sickle bending. Sickle meaning, children, the tool, the instrument that is used to cut the grass. It should have a handle and a blade, like a hook the blade would be. So that is called the sickle. Bending, I listened, motionless and still. And as I mounted up, meaning as I climbed off the hill, the music in my heart I bore. I bore meaning I carried or took along with me long after it was heard no more. So meaning, children, the poet is saying that it is not going to end. Whatever the theme, the topic of the poem is, it is not going to end. Not only her song, but also her suffering sounds like a never-ending one. He stays there motionless. He stays there still and listens to her song. Even when he left that place and climbed up the hill, he could still hear her voice coming amongst the produce, coming amongst the hills. She was cutting and binding the crops. Though the poet now left that place, the song remained in his heart. Both the song, meaning it carried over, he took along that song long after he heard that song. Understood, children? Means he left that place, but the song never left him. Even after a long time, he has come away from that place, still he could listen that song. That song continued to echo in his heart long after it is heard no more. So this beautiful experience he had written in this Solitary Reaper poem. Done, children? Hope you understand everything. All the hard words and meanings are given in the side. Practice all those things and we'll have a discussion